Welcome to In Pursuit of Truth. This is your host, Sir Patrick Mack, a.k.a. the most dangerous man on the face of the interwebs. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds super dope. The reports of my demise have been slightly exaggerated. However, I have been undergoing some platform hatred. That's right, those platforms, they be hating. They see me rolling. They hating, patrolling, they try to catch me, y'all, pursuited. And we are going to get pursuited today. But first of all, I want to thank every single one of you for helping me reach 160,000 subscribers over here on YouTube. Every one of you except for CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, who has easily at this point deleted 160,000 subscribers. No matter, still we rise. We rise like a risey thing, like a thing that rises. What rises? Yeast rises. Hey, and speaking of, we're going to celebrate with some cake. That's right. Look at this bad boy right here. Congrats, traitor! Kind of expresses the dichotomy of being a QAnon content creator. You get a lot of love, but you also get a lot of hatred too. But anyway, I thought it was funny. And it's got a puffin on it. And I know it's not a puffin, it's a penguin. But we can pretend that it's a puffin because I couldn't find a puffin on a cake. This one has celebratory balloons that look a little deflated, kind of like my ego. Anyway, I thought it was funny. So congrats, traders. Grab yourself some cake, have some fun. Don't take yourself too seriously. Fist bump your neighbor. Let's get started. Okay, first things first, for those of you who don't know, my last video that was posted on YouTube was taken down. It was entitled Fedlin in Pursuit of Truth Presents from December 30th. And I posted about it in a text post on YouTube. Many of you have already seen it. It looks just like this right here. I don't know what else to do. DropSpace isn't uploading. BitChute isn't uploading. Yeah, neither platform was uploading for about 24 hours. It happens a lot, so just bear with me. The only thing to do at this point is sue. You see what I did there? Because her name is Susan. Anyway, the video entitled Fedlin was removed because it violates our violent or graphic content policy. And essentially what it was is I showed the footage of a certain event that happened in White Settlement, Texas, that involved a church and firearms. And NBC showed it, CNN showed it, AP News showed it, Breitbart showed it, Fox showed it, CBS showed it. But evidently when IPOT shows it, we violate violent and graphic content policy. So I spent a lot of time taking some screenshots and going back and forth, just in case any of that stuff ever has to come up in a court of law. Anyway, yours truly got it deleted off of YouTube, and I let you guys know. You guys don't need to let me know because I spent the last 2 months letting you guys know at the end of my videos. Side note, I just caught some of you guys not watching the end of my videos. Anyway, I've been warning of it for quite some time, and it was just another reason to take one of my videos down. But if you did miss it, it's over here at DropSpace. There it is right there with this little cutie right there. Fedlin in Pursuit of Truth Presents. It is finally uploaded on DropSpace, and I also got it over here on BitChute, and it finally uploaded on Brighteon. So you can find it on all those platforms. And I will probably start when I get back on Twitter and Gab. I will probably start linking everything to BitChute. But thanks to those of you who've been watching it over here. Looks like this got about 7,266 views. It's getting better every day. We're almost to 19,000 over here. Thanks to those of you who've been joining over here. On that note, for those of you who've been saying, hey Patrick, your links below have been taking me to a 404 error. I have tried to remedy that. And we'll see if those links, so try them out today. They'll be down in the video description. I altered them a little bit. I had to make some changes to some of these platforms to make sure you guys could still get to them. So overall, bear with me, bear with BitChute, bear with DropSpace, bear with all these platforms as we try and move off of YouTube. Because they're smaller platforms, they have a harder time being able to deal with uploads. So I want you guys to know that when I upload any video, I upload them to all platforms. Let me say that again. I upload them to all platforms at the same time. However, Generally, YouTube will upload within an hour or so, and these other platforms sometimes can take even days. It may not even upload after a period of days. It could be sitting there processing for hours, and it may not upload. So I don't want to bore you with all this, but I want to make sure that you guys really understand this. I'm doing everything on my end. If something has not yet uploaded to a platform, believe me, I'm already aware of it. It's because I'm sitting there still working on it. But I'll try and get it out to you the best that I can. But in the future, you guys are probably going to want to start getting over here to either BitChute, DropSpace, or something like that. I'm also over there at Brighteon, and all those links are down below. Let's move on. Now, first I want to share this story from the AP, which of course was shared by a number of you anons, but I wanted to show you a couple things I found on this. This was from December 29th. Police, all 7 killed in Hawaii tour helicopter crash. And there seems to have been a string of helicopter crashes going on lately. And I find some of these tour helicopter operations a little bit suspect, but it says right here, tour helicopter operations in Hawaii have come under increased scrutiny after the deadly crash this week, one of several recent accidents in the state, with a congressman calling the trips unsafe and lacking proper oversight. There were no survivors of a Thursday tour helicopter crash that killed 3 minors and 4 adults, officials confirmed Saturday. The helicopter that was set to tour the rugged Napali coast, the picturesque and remote northern shoreline of Kauai that was featured in the film Jurassic Park, crashed on a mountaintop Thursday. The remains of 6 people were recovered Friday, and the 7th is still missing. Kauai police confirmed there are no survivors based in the part of the nature of the crash and impact damage. Officials said in a statement, recovery efforts were suspended Saturday afternoon. There were 6 people from 2 different families and a pilot on the flight. U.S. Representative Ed Case of Hawaii cited fatal accidents over the years, blaming the Federal Aviation Administration for not taking National Transportation Safety Board safety improvement efforts seriously and the industry for not regulating itself. Okay, so they go on a little bit about this, but I really want to turn you on to what happened. In a statement Saturday, police said the flight manifest listed the pilot as Paul Matero, 69, of Wailua, Hawaii. 2 passengers were named as 47-year-old Amy Gannon and 13-year-old Jocelyn Gannon of Wisconsin. Amy Gannon's friend Dorisha Carr said Gannon's death would rattle the city of Madison. She's very important. I mean, she owns a huge business in Madison that helps so many people out, Carr said. The city is going to be really shaken. Amy Gannon co-founded a nonprofit company that helped female entrepreneurs succeed. Carr also said Gannon mentored her 17-year-old son, AJ Carr. I know, Dorisha Carr said when she didn't have enough money to move to allow her son to pursue his acting career, Gannon put up the money for them to go. AJ Carr has appeared in Chicago PD, This Is Us, and All American. She did so much. She paid for us to leave Madison because she believed in him, Dorisha Carr said. So much happened because of her. This is a huge loss. Madison Metropolitan School District spokesman Tim Lamond confirmed that Jocelyn Gannon was an 8th grader attending Hamilton Middle School. Our community has lost a wonderful young woman, the district said in a letter sent Saturday to students. Okay, so they lost a couple of family or members of a couple different families here. We had some minors on this helicopter, and we had this person who had this really interesting, I guess you could say sort of a philanthropic nonprofit company, right? Now let me take you over to channel3000.com. You can see her right here. Amy Gannon is the co-founder of the Madison-based group Doyen, which serves to empower female entrepreneurs in the Madison area and beyond. And this is their site here, Doyen, female version of Doyen, kind of the meaning like a resident expert, somebody who's particularly well-versed in their field. And here's their site. The future starts now. That's not true. That's not true. I'm from the future. The future always happens a little bit later. That's true. So I don't see anything particularly suspect, and I wasn't looking for anything suspect about this site, but I did find a few curious things that I wanted to share with you. We go to their funding here, and they've got themselves a fund set up. It's called the Doyen Evergreen Fund Overview. No! What is the Doyen Evergreen Fund? It's an innovative approach to getting critical dollars into businesses that are led by women and people of color. Doyen has raised dollars from state and city government community organizations, foundations, and private donors. All returns from investments made by Doyen are put back into the Evergreen Fund for future disbursement to entrepreneurs. Additionally, the fund is paired with the Doyen Accelerator, which provides coaching assistance to all entrepreneurs who receive funding. Okay, so it's another one of these funds, and they get money from state and city government. How fantastic. Now, I do want to point out that I haven't found anything suspect about this group in particular. I don't see any history of scandals or anything like that. And like I said, I wasn't particularly looking, but I thought that was very, very interesting. If you've been following my channel for long enough, you know we've had a lot of different references to the term evergreen. We're not going to go through them all today, but we've talked about shipping. We've talked about the CIA. We've talked about Hillary's Secret Service code name. We could kind of go on and on. I just wanted to point out that I thought that was interesting. Now, an evergreen fund is actually a real thing. It's kind of a living, breathing thing. Those of you who are a little bit more well-versed in finance could probably explain it better. But if you are investing into something like this, you could probably change your investment every few years. It's kind of, like I said, a living, breathing thing. You're always altering it, and it's always going up and down and changing. I'm probably grossly oversimplifying that, but I'm not an economist. But anyway, I thought that was really, really interesting. Now, let me show you a couple other things. If you scroll down to the bottom of that page, you can see the portfolio. And just to be clear here, this Amy Gannon runs this Doyen site. They get government funds, all kinds of public funds, and they help female entrepreneurs set up shop. And it looks like these are some of the different shops that they have set up. And we're not going to look at all of them, but I do want to show you a few here. This first one is called Fenrici. They seem to have kind of little bits of apparel, but mostly backpacks right there. Happy holidays. Nice looking backpacks right there. Oh, wait a minute. Is that an owl? Oh, boy. Okay, fine enough. There's an alpaca? No, it's a llama. It's a llama. But let's take a look at this one right there. What is that right there? My goodness. That is a butterfly. Wow, shoot. It looks kind of familiar. I am flashing you a screen page from the FBI's official website. Most of you guys have already seen this, but these are a list of symbols that certain kinds of people who like them young like to use, and it just looks fairly similar. That's all I'm saying on that. But anyway, there is Fenrici. Now let me take you over to Conduct RM, which is a remote monitoring system. They use it for pacemakers, ICDs, loop recorders. In partnership with your practice, we bring access, efficiency, and value. Okay, well, good enough, I suppose. They're into the caregiving. Here is another one called Stimmy. Everything you need all in one place. Stimmy is the only caregiver website designed to support individuals with disabilities or complex needs. Stimmy lets you create a cloud-based, person-centered care plan, custom-tailored for an individual that connects the whole care team. Okay, so everyone's on one little network. And this one's pretty curious right here. Hey, kids, did you like LifeLog? Do you like Facebook? Well, you're gonna love Lifebook. Unfortunately, it's not set up right now, and it takes you to this lifebookbuilder.com. This is from wix.com. So I found this very interesting because this whole Doyen premise was to help people get set up. This isn't set up, and they're using a source like Wix, which anybody could really use. I suppose it's really possible, but I just found it very curious that it isn't even set up. Now, a lot of these businesses that I have seen are either recently set up or took you to sites like this where they weren't really existing just yet, but let's move on. Here is Exit 7C, powering transportation of today and tomorrow, powering fleets in 50 plus cities. So it looks like they do quite a bit. Maintenance, compliance service, on location, leverages technology to efficiently provide fuel and maintenance services to transportation fleets. Okay, fair enough. Then we have this here, Prof to Prof, and look at that logo right there. Yikes, a couple of Molochs fighting over a light bulb, and their banner isn't any less creepy. Well, Prof to Prof is a worldwide interdisciplinary platform for academic professionals, including professors, instructors and lecturers, researchers, administrators, student affairs specialists, doctoral students, and emeritus faculty. All right, fair enough. And then we have this one right here entitled Caboosey, and I'm going to let you go to that because I'm not getting kicked off the internet for this, but essentially it is baby clothes. They're pants for babies that still wear diapers, and they've got an elastic band like you can see in the logo here so that you can just kind of, yank them out and check their bum anytime that you want. Yikes. Anyway, you can go to that site yourself. How about this one right here? Trinity Gunshot Alarm LLC with the totally not creepy triangle right here. And here it is. Gunshot alarm system, setting the pace in gunshot detecting systems. The unthinkable can happen at any time. Trinity's state-of-the-art gunshot detection centers can sound the alarm in an instant. Okay, so this is actually very tailor-made for school shootings. Trinity is the creation of Stacy Jacks, a school teacher and mom who saw news coverage of school shootings and vowed to help. Okay, now let me take you back to the original AP News article. So we know that this Amy Gannon passed away with her 13-year-old Jocelyn Gannon. And it says down here, the 4 other passengers, including 2 girls who were 10 and 13 years old, are believed to be from Switzerland, police said, but their identities have not yet been released. Okay, so we don't know them, but we know that there were some young girls on this trip, right? And this Amy Gannon, I just showed you her company, and although I don't really want to kind of cast any aspersions on any of those side projects or anything, I just noticed a couple things that I thought were a little suspect. But she passed away, and then we get these statements on multiple platforms. I'm reading it to you from the AP, but this happened on multiple platforms. This spokesperson, her name is Dorisha Carr, and she's the one that said, here in the center, it said when she didn't have enough money to move to allow her son to pursue his acting career, Gannon put up the money for them to go. AJ Carr has appeared in Chicago PD. Okay, so that comes from spokesperson Dorisha Carr, and her son is AJ Carr. We're over here at the Chicago Sun-Times, and this is an article from, oddly enough, not that long ago, April 4th, 2019. Chicago teen AJ Carr from the Chi on TV works to help the Chi in real life. He's a high school junior, but Chicago teenager AJ Carr already has a recurring role on a hit TV series, has formed a nonprofit, and plans to expand his youth-focused outreach on a national scale. Carr stars on Lena Waithe's Showtime drama, The Chi. That's a dumb name. That's a super dumb name, which depicts day-to-day life in a neighborhood on the South Side. The 16-year-old plays Stick. It's also a dumb name. A misguided but well-meaning kid who appeared in 5 episodes last year and also is a part of Season 2, which premieres on Sunday. But let's take you down to what I'm talking about here. At 13, young AJ created Building Bosses, a not-for-profit organization to teach kids about entrepreneurship and leadership. People tend to pay attention to kids when they're messing up, he says, but not as much when they're doing something positive, which he's aiming to change. Outstanding. AJ says his passion for helping youth is inspired by his own upbringing. His mother wasn't able to finish school at Columbia College in Chicago after having him, and they didn't always have all the physical things they needed, but they had hope, AJ said, and he wants to use his background to inspire the same in others. Okay, fantastic. So let's take you over to his site. And here's the site right here. And once again, I'm not casting any aspersions on this young man. I just find it very curious that this guy's already got himself a humanitarian organization. Young men, women, and children die every day in cities all across the country at the hands of other young people. Many of them are also being attacked because of the color of their skin, and they have to fear for their lives every day. Okay, well, I don't want to necessarily downplay that, but I just notice how racist I always seem to feel every time I read all this stuff. Now, this is a little piece from 2017 in regards to AJ's mother, Dorisha, from Madison365.com. And it opens up, it's a little interview. It opens up talking about her son, who is a Johnny Carr, AJ Carr, at just 14, is one of the real up-and-comers in Madison. And I want to take you down here because there was a question asking about people getting started. Right here, what advice would you give other kids who want to get into acting? The first thing I would tell them is to get some professional training outside of Madison. Unfortunately, there is no place in Madison kids can go to get the training that is needed for the field I work in. I'd suggest a search in Chicago. I would also tell them to be patient because AJ is getting ready to bring an amazing new program to Madison that will help kids get into acting. And I also do workshops here in Madison for parents who want to get their children into acting. Okay, so I'm kind of torn on this because I sort of grew up in a similar world like this, honestly. But a lot of these programs can, do a lot of really, really great things. And again, I don't want to cast any aspersions, but I see some red flags, particularly because of this death with this lady and the fact that there were some children on board, and that we've seen a lot of different helicopter crashes over the recent years. And they were even mentioning in the first article how this was happening over Hawaii, which just happens to be rough terrain, which I imagine would be a rough place to search and find out the actual truth of some of these stories, right? Just saying. But this woman, Dorisha Carr, says she's a mother whom her kids consider superwoman. She's a business owner who represents over 200 professional actors. Okay, and that very well may be, and I don't want to hate on that, but I do want to point out something from somebody who actually does know quite a thing or two about this business. In this business, one of the first things you need to have is a proper headshot. And Dorisha, who heads up 200 actors, one of them being successful and having a Showtime series, doesn't have a headshot herself. Might seem like a small detail, but I would say it was an immediate red flag. It was the first thing that I noticed. Just saying. Now, maybe she does, and I'm not hating on Dorisha Carr here, but I want to be really, really clear. Something just doesn't feel right about this. But anyway, there you have it. There is Dorisha Carr. One last bit on this story. This is from KESQchannel3.com. All of the victims have been identified. On Tuesday, a KPD spokesperson identified the members of a Swiss family believed to have been aboard the helicopter. They are Sylvie Winteregg, 50, Christoph Winteregg, 49, Alice Winteregg, 13, and Agatha Winteregg, 10. So we know who the children are, and it does feel good to at least know that they were with their parents. Now, I couldn't find much about this family, but I did find a little on this Christoph Winteregg. And if this is him, it looks like he is leading the sales consulting organization at Oracle for Switzerland and Austria. His passion for innovation and new technologies is coming from the time when he graduates in the domain of computer science at the FH in Neuchâtel. Moreover, his current focus is driving transformation and delivering new value supported by new technologies like blockchain, cloud, artificial intelligence, or IoT for large customer. He is currently involved in several blockchain projects. The last 20 years, Christoph Winteregg worked for several large IT companies where he gathered a vast experience in technical IT, security, development, or business applications in several industries. So there you go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the moment that some of you have been waiting for, it's time to reach into the mailbag. Check the mail, y'all. Check the mail, y'all. This first one comes from Scott Kesterson, better known as Bards of War, who emailed me this and said, I have attached a photo you are welcome to use that I took back in 2013 inside the NYC East Side Tunnel project. And for those of you who don't remember, I was talking about this the other day in regards to some Q posts that was mentioning all these book deals, and in particular, Pearson Publishing. And I was pointing out that Pearson came from a long line of engineers, and it was Samuel Pearson and company that actually helped drill a lot of these original tunnels. But as you can see by this picture, this thing is absolutely massive. Right in the center there is a person walking alongside it, and it really is mind-boggling. Scott goes on to say that tunnel has a double-decker platform for the subway. It is cut using a TBM, which is a tunnel boring machine. Boring! It's a very massive tunnel. The rock in the substructure is unique. Due to its lattice nature, without reinforcement, the rock can withstand multiple impacts from deep penetrating warheads without the structure collapsing. That same type as rock formation is North Korea, Iran, and Moscow. The entire project was being built under high-rise NYC buildings without any impact on the surface. The tech to bore tunnels is very sophisticated and is constantly being improved. DUMs are very real, very difficult to detect, and even more difficult to clean out. As an example, I visited Tito's bunker. There is an underground munitions factory next to his bunker that is still producing ammo. I oversaw a drone flyover of the faculty. Using advanced IR detection, we could not see any heat signature from the munitions plant. It was that well designed, and that bunker and plant were built in the 70s. The tech has advanced a long way since then. I hope that is helpful, Bards. It is helpful, and I think it's what's really helpful. Of course, I've talked about tunnels at a great deal, but to actually see this and really get an idea of how absolutely massive this is, you can understand that a lot of money and time and effort was put into these projects. So obviously there was a reason for all that. And I want to thank you, Bards of War, and I also want to point you guys over to their channel. He does a lot of great work with MilSpec Ops Monkey, who is a big favorite of mine on Twitter. Both of these guys are incredibly helpful, and I appreciate everything that you do. He's got himself a really nice thing going on over on his channel. This is a screenshot of that. So if you get a chance, go over there and join his channel. If you like, you can give a subscribe or whatever. Check it out. Give him some support. Thanks a lot, Bards of War. This next one comes from MSNBC Anon, and I did do some vetting on the side here. This person does indeed appear to be legit, and also provided me with some other materials to show that they were indeed. This is an interesting story. On 9/11, I was employed at MSNBC at 400 North Capitol Street. In the morning, I was with a camera crew on the roof, waiting for a plane to smash into the Capitol building a few hundred yards away, just across the street from our studio. I could also see the Pentagon burning across the Potomac River. As the day progressed, we left the roof. News was pouring in. People were yelling it out across the newsroom and studio. Complete mayhem. Word came through that Cheney authorized the shooting down of Flight 93. Word came in soon after it went down. Right after a hysterical woman somehow got into the studio past security on the first floor and the front desk on the 8th floor. She was screaming and crying Cheney had killed her husband, who had been on Flight 93. She wanted to go on air and excoriate the you-know-what. Usually the newsroom and studio was the height of decorum. The day was already wild, but a screaming lady running up to whomever would make eye contact was way out. When she approached me, I wanted to cry. I'd never seen such abject pain. I could do nothing to help her and stood there speechless as she moved to the next and next and next person. Then, a couple of Secret Service guys showed up in dark suits with the IFB-type earpieces and microphones on wrists. They quickly grabbed her and escorted her out. About 90 minutes later, she shows back up, no longer crying, but still had red puffy eyes. She lays out the most ridiculous story about how her husband had led a team of passengers to force the crash landing of the plane in a field in Pennsylvania. He was no longer a victim, but rather a hero who saved the White House from a direct hit. Immediately, I said, "Bull poo!" There was no way to collect video from crappy flip phones that could no way connect to cell towers from an airplane. There are not microphones in the cabin to record on black boxes. I knew Cheney had given the order to shoot the plane down. That poor woman would have believed anything to ease her unbearable pain. God bless her. People were so traumatized, they were inclined to believe complete and utter bull poo. At the time, I was a camera operator and stage director. Though I knew the producers, there was no way I could throw a red flag in the studio as we televised her rant. Then more BS cell phone stories started coming in. Olsen, who had allegedly died in the Pentagon crash, was a regular guest on Hardball. We all knew her. The idea that she also called from a cell phone was BS. Then they changed it back to seatback phones. Problem is, her plane had no seatback phones. The whole story was rigged. It felt like the story where a street side hustler says, "Just give me the money and you wait here. I'll be right back, promise. I grew up in the city, yo." Like everyone else, I couldn't fathom the premeditated planning that would have been required to pull off such outrageous lies, but they were so outrageous that it almost made them believable. The reality that the VP was somehow involved would have been too painful to confront, so everyone just bought it. I could go into far more detail about that crazy day, but you should get the drift. All right, well, thank you very much for that. All right, Patriots, that's all I got for you for now, but let me leave you with a couple of parting words from Tom Fitton. What you got coming up for us, Tom?
In the meantime, we've got other discovery that we're pursuing and more information. We have Benghazi material that's going to knock your socks off that I'll talk about next week.
Nice. We'll be looking forward to that, Mr. Fitton. That's all I got for you for now. As always, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe. And if you have not done so already, please join me on one of these alternate platforms. This is my DropSpace over here. They will all be linked down below, and I will try some of the new links, and hopefully that'll work and help some of you guys out. It'll all be down below in the video description, as is my email if you've got information for me. And if you'd like to send something old school, my P.O. box is down below, and my Patreon is down below if you'd like to support the channel. It's all down below. This is Sir Patrick Mack, and I'm out of here. Until next time, stay funky.